What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Balders Live podcast. I'm your host, Brendan, joined by my co-host, Amir. A lot to talk about here before we get into Christmas. We're going to start out west with the Golden State Warriors. Not going very well in San Francisco these days, Amir.
Nope.
A lot of Warrior fans calling for Steve Kerr's head. A lot of interesting conversations around their inconsistencies with any of their lineups, specifically their starting lineups. Amir, I just want to get your thoughts on why the Warriors have really been struggling this past month, really.
Because they're the Golden State Warriors, basically. So I don't want to be disrespectful, but the dynasty's been over. It's over. Steph is still elite, which is amazing and lucky for them because there's
It
still
makes
a
it so tough. Yeah.
small window. Yeah, there's still a window, but just the structure of the team and the construction of the team is not working anymore. So they're older, obviously. Are they the oldest team or second oldest team? Them and the Clippers. They're smaller. They always are small. Steve Kerr loves small ball. It's not working anymore, this type of small
Yeah.
ball. They can't defend at a championship level anymore consistently. Draymond's still great, but he's also old. Jimmy's great at defense, but he's old. Other players just in the roster are not doing well enough, like defensively. Offensively, that's another issue: size and shooting. Switchable wings. They desperately miss Andrew Wiggins, who's on my team now. Right? They need more creators outside of Steph and Jimmy, and both of them are going to miss games because they're older, and Jimmy always misses games. And surprisingly, he's played a lot so far this season, but Steph has missed like 6, 7, 8 games. Probably will miss more, obviously, because just to rest him for the playoffs. But like,
I mean, they
they're
gotta make the playoffs right now, the way things are going.
yeah,
It's
that's the
been a
tough part.
struggle. Yeah. And to your point on the age, they are the second oldest team
Yep.
currently in the NBA with an average age of about 27. And then Steve Kerr's unwillingness to play any of their young guys, I think, continues to be an issue. The only young guy really getting any tick is Pajemski, who I know all of Dub Nation just wants to
Hates
see shipped out. They can't
hates right
stand
now.
Pajemski. And I can't really blame them considering what was on the table, or at least potentially what was on the table for a Pajemski trade at the beginning of the season with Lowry Markkinen and maybe some other guys. But he's averaging 28 minutes a game. Meanwhile, Kuminga, you mentioned they're really lacking a lot of athleticism on the wings, and Kuminga's just getting DNPs.
Yeah,
Over the last 3 games, he didn't play against the T-Wolves, didn't play against the Trailblazers, and played 10 minutes last night against the Suns. Um,
not enough
so
time.
it's confusing. And then Will Richards, who I think could be a really great young piece for them, who Kerr says he seems to love, but he just won't play him because he hasn't, quote, put in his dues. I just his lack of willingness to play these young guys, I think, is really, really hurting the team. And then with Draymond not playing like typical Hall of Fame level Draymond is just killing the Warriors. They need him to basically be an All NBA caliber player, and Steph is giving you everything he can, and they're still not able to beat the Blazers when he's giving you damn near 50 points. So
Mm-hmm.
it's a
Rough.
weird time right now in Golden State. And over their last 5 games, their offensive rating is middle of the pack, 14th. What's crazy is their defensive rating has been strong. They're playing some good defense, 5th over their last 5 games, net rating 9th. So it just seems to me they need to have a little bit of an injection of energy. And I think you could get that if you play some of these young guys. Let Moses Moody get out there, play a little bit more. Let Kuminga at least see what you have with Kuminga at this point.
Up his
If you're
trade
trying to
value.
deal him, yeah, if
Up
you're
his
trying to
trade
trade
value.
him,
You're
what
going
are we
to.
doing?
They're
Yeah,
gonna
so what
trade
do you,
him.
so do you with that in mind, do you think Kerr and this staff will at least start playing Kuminga a little bit over the next month or so, month and a half, until we reach that February trade deadline?
Month or so. They're gonna play his ass for the next 2 weeks, starting now. I believe. I think they integrated him into that game that you mentioned for 10 minutes to get him back into the lineup. But like the deadline is not February 9th or whatever it is, 8th, whatever it is, the first week of February. It's January 15th, baby. Not the deadline, but that's the beginning of the end because that's when he's able to get traded. So I think they play him more in the next 2 weeks and basically let him audition for other teams because he's going to be traded. He's all but gone, I assume, at this point. One, because he's just in the doghouse, has been in the doghouse, doesn't fit this roster, doesn't fit Kerr's scheme. So they need to load up as much as they can. I don't know what you can get for him, but if he plays at an all-star type level in these next 2 weeks, then maybe you can get some solid pieces, but you need some scoring. They're 23rd in points per game. You need some defense. Also, I know you mentioned they've been playing better, but like you need some rim protection. So if they can get some sort of backup big or someone else, because post is not going to give you too much on the defensive side, but they're 27th in blocks. Obviously, that's a symptom of being small. Field goals made, they're 21st. Like they turn the ball over crazy, which is insane. They're 26th in turnover. So they need to add some other pieces. I don't know if it's going to be enough. Just, you need to trade Pods. You need to trade Kuminga. You need to trade someone else. Like to just try to add new pieces, new fire, and try to see what you can build. Because it's still a long season, like there's been teams that have had bad stretches early on and have turned it around. So we'll see. But yeah, just he's not going to play the young guys. That's Kerr's mantra, basically. Like he doesn't really have faith or trust these guys consistently. So that's going to be something moving forward. So trade Kuminga, trade Pods, trade someone else, whoever, and just try to get some veterans who can help you compete in the West in the playoffs, basically. So we'll see.
Yeah, they need to be looking at least forward to the playoffs, especially with Steph giving you still, first team All NBA performances. There's maybe a couple trade candidates. Maybe in our last minute, we can maybe talk about some guys we could target. I think Quentin Grimes would be a great addition to this Warrior team. I don't know what the Sixers would want from him, but if you could maybe package up Kuminga, Pods, and ship him out, and maybe get Quentin Grimes back just to shake things up on your roster. I don't know if you have any other guys you would be interested to see with the Dubs, but it's also tough to really integrate into their system. It seems, especially for these young guys. But would love to hear your take on maybe some other guys we haven't earmarked yet for the Warriors.
That's interesting. I mean, I would hope that Pods and Kuminga would get more than Grimes, but maybe they throw in Oubre, who used to be on the Warriors too. He's been playing pretty good as well. Like you add him and Grimes for those two. I think that could be a huge injection of skill and talent. Who could they trade for? Who could they trade for Kuminga? I think a Sacramento package, because Sacramento seems like they're interested. I think maybe adding a Malik Monk and a Keon perhaps for a Kuminga. You get the defense with Keon on ball, and then you get Malik Monk, who's a bona fide kind of sixth man off the bench who could score and create his own shots and hit the three ball. So I think a Sacramento package could be theoretically interesting as well. If I'm just thinking on the top of my head. But yeah, I think we'll see what happens in the next few weeks once he's eligible to get traded. And I think it looks like they'll probably trade him before the trade deadline because they can't wait till the trade deadline. They need to inject new players and talent onto this roster sooner than later. So I expect him to get traded sometime in mid-January when he's eligible.
Yeah, I think those are all good points. All right, Amir, well, we'll wrap it up there. Lots to think about for the Warriors. I hope they can at least string something together so they don't completely waste the twilight here of Steph, as he's been going absolutely crazy. Appreciate your time, and thank you guys all for watching. Again, if you do like this content, please make sure to like and subscribe. Helps us out, helps us keep delivering this content. If you want new ideas, let us know. Just engage with us. All right, Amir, I'll talk to you soon.
Have a good one.